What up, fans? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode 402. Welcome to Gran Torino. You are listening to another new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Juan. I am joined by the other guy, the other gang member, Zach.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Oh, wrong episode.
Hey, don't tease me. Don't tease
How's
me.
how's the weekend, man? You good? You been hanging out, seeing some movies, drinking your magic stuff there, like in the Space Jam movie?
Yeah, but that's what that exactly is, actually. No, weekend was good. Hung out with you for a little bit. We'll talk about that. But man, it's summer is flying. I mean, we're basically almost halfway through June. Can you believe it?
Summer's flying, man. I'm the other way around. Summer can't be over enough. I'm ready for this heat. I'm ready for
Heat wave.
I'm ready for these kids to go back to school. Like, let's get summer done and over with. I'm ready for football to come back. Yeah, we don't get summer breaks, Zach. What are you talking about? We need summer to hurry up and get over with, so this utility bill can lower because of this dang AC.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like you said, we don't really get time off unless we request it off. Just a regular, ordinary day for us.
And even then, you better not call in on Tuesday because you're not getting a day off.
Hey, there could be a asteroid planet killing thing coming our way, and we still be talking movies.
Hey, do you know what? Do you remember the tornado that was happening whenever we were talking about Solo?
Yes. And the snowstorm that Ed got snowed in at your place for a couple days.
You know what? But he was still on the episode. He was like, I can go home, but I don't have no power. I can't do the episode. I'm like, no, you're staying here and you're doing the episode.
Yeah. We don't take breaks. We don't take breaks here.
Yeah, that was before the Zoom channel meeting that we have now.
Yeah, that was still when we were doing it in person. So
speak of, guys, hope everybody had a great weekend and a great week. If you did not catch last week's episode, last week we talked all about the Terminator. It feels so weird that we talked Terminator. It feels like 2 months ago that we talked Terminator. But if you guys want to check out,
when we went and saw a film this weekend.
So go back and listen to the Terminator wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find our links to all of our episodes in our social medias at facebook.com/the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. You can check out all my recent watches and recommendations on the Instagram at Instagram/Cine-Men Movie Podcast. You can also see some links on the X at Cine-Men405. And you can send us a good old email, whether it's recommendations, if you want us to cover a certain movie, at our Gmail, CINEMEN921 at gmail.com. So yeah, Zach, it has been a week. A lot of fun things to talk about that we might have catched over the week. I talked to you earlier about this in the week in person, but I want to bring it up here in case any of the listeners want to chime in on this special rant. I'm a little upset, and I'll explain why. First off, we already know the Oklahoma City Thunder have been eliminated from the playoffs. That's fine. But I'm watching the finals, the New York Knicks at the San Antonio Spurs, and I get a nice little trailer for Disclosure Day.
Yeah,
cool.
Dude.
Cool. It's the NBA playoffs. I can't fast forward or rewind. I'm just going to check it out. It's probably every single trailer I've seen about Disclosure Day when I went and seen a movie. This trailer, tell me why this trailer shows the entire full body alien in the trailer, and it gives away the entire look of what this creature looks like. Spoiler, if you guys want to see what I'm talking about, you can just Google the Disclosure Day trailer aired during the NBA playoffs, and it should pop up. but it shows his entire stomach all the way up to his head. I can tell you exactly what his head looks like for the people who want to be spoiled. And it's like super, super frustrating. Okay, going to the theater, that's one thing. I know I'm expecting some kind of trailer, so I'm stepping on my own toes there. I think the only thing that's kind of big to give away those trailers are the talking by tongue, which is fine, and then you do get to see a spaceship come out of the clouds like Independence Day. So you see those two things, and I'm like, okay, but giving away the entire full body alien of Disclosure Day on free TV, on live TV during the NBA Finals, we're not even talking NBA playoffs anymore. We're talking NBA Finals. Like, that's so frustrating. I'm sorry, it was a rant.
It is frustrating.
It was full.
No, I get it, man. Like I just stopped anytime they showed previews. Like yours was Disclosure Day, mine's Toy Story 5. Every time I turn on ABC, they're showing some clip from Toy Story 5. I'm just like, dude, you basically gave away the entire film in that 30 second promo.
See, Toy Story, I could probably kind of live with, because I know what to expect in a Toy Story movie. I don't know what to expect in a Steven Spielberg thriller or a Steven Spielberg suspense sci-fi movie. He could push out what if they teased that this is a full-blown sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Which that would be incredible, but they basically gave away what I mean it is about UFOs, but if that was the alien from Close Encounters, I gave away the entire secret.
Yeah, well, I mean, not to mention it did give away a train track pushing just like in Close Encounters. So I don't know what they're teasing or Steven Spielberg is teasing during these trailers, but I'm like, yes, I am going to watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind before I go see Disclosure Day. Are you, Zach?
No, I'm going in blind. I'm very excited. That's what we're talking about next week. I already got my ticket. You got your ticket. I might be actually seeing it twice, so I'll have like a full in-depth analysis next week.
So, yeah. Same. So, I got 2 different tickets for 2 different days. I couldn't choose between the IMAX or the Dolby, so I got both.
Yeah, I'm doing regular and IMAX on Monday. So,
but today we're talking about Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino. Sorry, I did have to open up that with a rant. Let us know, you guys. If the trailer comes up, whether it's on TV, an ad on YouTube, or in the movies, do you skip the trailers in the movies and just get there 25 minutes later after showtime? Or let us know. Let us know your thoughts about trailers and if you avoid them or not. Let's get into some topics though over the week. We will talk about recent watches and recommendations. Zach, I'm going to rapid fire through mine. So if you want to mention or stop me on anything, go ahead. I did check out probably, I think it was 13 different Clint Eastwood movies this week. I'm not going to go through those. I'll go through some of them. I checked out 1517 to Paris, Absolute Power, The Dirty Harry Collection, Coraline, Flags of Our Fathers, Gran Torino for today's episode, American Sniper, Sully, Masters of the Universe. I do want to talk to you about that movie. My first time watch To Catch a Thief. I don't know if I mentioned that last week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then I did go see, I did watch David, the new animated movie that finally hit Netflix. I wanted to go see it in the theaters, but I never got a chance to. $1 Million Baby, the new Scary Movie, Pressure, and Masters of the Universe. I also did check out the Michael Jackson Verdict documentary on Netflix.
What do you think about Pressure?
Pressure is really good. I'm glad I went and saw that, and I'm glad I took your advice, went and saw it on the big screen. I was invested literally from start to finish with that movie. I'm probably going to give it a 4. And so far, when we do the best of 2026 so far in a few weeks, it might sneak into that top 10. So it was a really good movie. And I liked how they used real footage from World War II. They didn't have to waste
in there.
yeah, they didn't have to waste a big budget on any of the war effects. And like you, we talked about this a few weeks when you went to go see it. You don't need to try to replicate what Spielberg did on D-Day. You just do your own version of it, and they did it fantastically.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a word, but they did
it. Yeah,
but they did it very, very well. I don't think it will, but I hope Brendan Fraser's performance carries him for the rest of the year.
I hope so too, man. But unfortunately, I was just looking at times for Disclosure Day this weekend to see if pressure's already out of some theaters here in Oklahoma. So it sucks.
And then what else did I want to talk about?
Oh, Masters of the Universe. What do you think about that?
Dude, you saw that I think the week before I did, or you might have seen it like a day before I did. I gotta say, I had a really good time with it. The 2.5 hour time slot kind of scared me, and I was like, "Oh, this is not going to be fun. I'm gonna dread this entire thing." But no, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I had a really good time with it. He-Man, the story, everything about it with everybody, even Idris Elba, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a really good time. Jared Leto as
Skeletor.
Skeletor was fantastic. He was funny. He was cheesy. There's some people complaining about how cheesy it was. I love the cheese. I think you could add some extra cheese onto it. And it's one of those movies, you know what? Before Disclosure Day comes out, guys, I know they're going to go back and forth between Disclosure Day and He-Man or Master of the Universe in the Dolby. Go check out Master of the Universe in the Dolby. It was fantastic. It was loud. It was just booming, and the screen is amazing. So I would personally go see it on the biggest screen possible. Masters of the Universe was a very good time at the movies. And I think I even went and seen it like 8 o'clock at night, so I was really dreading it then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, I was like, oh, it's not going to start till like 8:30. It'll be over by like 11. But no, it was a good time. So,
nice.
And we're not sponsored by them by any means, but if you guys want to go see stuff for free, or for almost for free, like the deal is still going on AMC Stubs A-List. Sign up for $1, you get a free month, and then you don't pay anything until I started in May, so I don't have to pay anything till July. But if you start now, you get the month of July for free for just $1, and then you don't have to pay anything till August. And you can see up to 4 movies in any format for free. So check it out. The Michael Jackson documentary, Zach. If you're huh?
Oh, you actually went and saw Michael again?
Yeah, I did see. Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw Michael again. I loved it again. I actually noticed different things about it this time around. I know it's on. You can rent it at home now, or you can purchase it at home, so you can watch it at home now if you want. But it comes out in physical media, I think July 14th. So pick it up, rent it, check it out. It's a fantastic movie. I fell in love with Coleman Domingo all over again, playing Joe Jackson. I have a very good respect for Jafar Jackson. Again, his performance. You know what? It wasn't just him being and singing Michael. It was him being Michael, and the performance. I got lost this time in the performance of Jafar Jackson, and not him trying to be Michael.
Nice.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And probably by the end of this coming weekend, it'll gross almost, if close to $900 million. So
can you believe it? Can you believe it's Lionsgate's biggest money maker of all time? And they've put out some classics.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
That is hard. I mean, it is hard for me to believe, but it isn't, just because of due to the subject matter. But I thought at least with Lionsgate, they do the Saw movies, don't they? I would think at least one of them would be number one in their catalog.
They also have had all the James Bond movies.
Yeah.
They've also had
No, they
was it
don't. They didn't have that's MGM that does. Well, Amazon now who does James Bond, who did James Bond.
That's right. What were we talking about?
Lionsgate.
Oh, never mind. Yeah. Yeah, never mind. I'm completely lost. I thought it was MGM. I'm having a stroke over here.
No. Let me get us back on track. So you went and saw Michael again, and how far did you get into the Netflix documentary?
I finished it. It's only 3 parts, 45 minutes apiece. If you're a fan of Michael, you're not going to like the documentary because they show you how they came to a verdict, and it's technically just a documentary on the trial itself and what the defense had and didn't have. So I mean, it's a well put together documentary, but it is real sloppy when it comes to like the editing and putting in certain scenes and putting in the evidence in certain places. So
yeah,
but it's okay if you want to spend about 2.5 hours watching it. I would recommend it if you like courtroom dramas. So, what about you, man? What'd you check out this week? I also checked out Scary Movie.
So I guess I'll jump off with that. We went and saw Scary Movie together. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of dreading it because I'm just like, I'm not a fan of parody films. I'm just like, oh god, this is gonna be, ugh. But you said, listen, if you go, I'll go with you, so we can be miserable together. And I can acknowledge it's probably a horrible movie, but we had fun with it.
We had a good time.
We had a good time with it. There was some decent jokes. I thought we had a pretty good audience that laughed at a lot of it. In my personal opinion, for me, I thought 5 out of the 10 jokes landed, if that makes sense. Yeah. I think the best thing, in my opinion, is what they did with Get Out. That had me like damn near crying. I was laughing so hard.
I brought this up to you live in person. The jokes and everything that the Wayans brothers did separately or together was hilarious to me, and I'm glad they brought them back. Everything that did not involve those two, I felt kind of did not stick to the wall.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of, and I guess that's kind of the point, but some of the stuff that's outside the Wayans it's really cringy. Like, yeah. Okay.
Still go check it out.
Yeah. I mean, it made a lot of money this weekend. I mean, it outthroned Masters of the Universe, Backrooms, and everything else. So, did go check out Masters of the Universe. I'm going to promote it in the 4DX. There's a lot of action, and the action goes really well with the 4DX moving seats.
Is that where you saw that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I saw it the Wednesday before it came out at like a advanced screening, and I agree with you, man. I did not know anything about Masters of the Universe. I knew who He-Man was, but I didn't watch the cartoon or any of the lore or anything like that. That's what a summer blockbuster should be. It should be fun. It can be mindless. You have a good time. Walk out, be like, damn, that was 2 hours and 20 minutes, but that went by pretty quick.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Jared Leto as Skeletor was easily the best part of the movie. Anytime he was on screen, I was like, this should not work, but it really does in like a weird Jared Leto way. All right, we got to talk about it. I went and saw Backrooms, and I don't
get off this episode right now. Just get off.
No. There's a lot I liked about the movie: the cinematography, the atmosphere, the 2 lead performances. I think
you fell into the hype about it. I
fell into the hype, and I think that the mystery of trying to figure it out is kind of what ruins it, if that makes sense. You know, because you spend the whole movie is like, is there something? Is there not? What's really going on? Is it an alternate universe? Like, what is the whole thing about it? And by the time we get to the actual reveal, I was just kind of like, really? Like, that's the big, enchilada that we're talking about, To
me, that wasn't such the big disappointment. I don't think there was any disappointment with this movie. Was it a letdown? Not really, because they still didn't explain it, and they left it wide open for another one. If he would have really got into it, I'm glad they didn't explain it, because it leaves you open to a guessing game, and what is expected for the next movie. Yeah. A letdown ending would have been something like Cabin in the Woods, where you find out that somebody's back there just playing a game the entire time, moving walls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and the creepiness of getting to that, spoiler alert, it's 20 minutes. We're not reviewing Backrooms, but we kind of are. If the scariness of getting to the final room or seeing if she survives getting to that supervisor, to me, the getting there is what made this movie fantastic. And the performance by, I'm going to butcher his name, Zach.
Chiwetel Ejiofor. Let me just go ahead and say it. Chiwetel Ejiofor.
When he sits there and he explains why he's there and why he wants to stay there, because there's nothing left for him outside in that world.
Mm-hmm.
To take it away, that is what sold me on the movie, with his performance in a horror movie, sitting there, breaking down, being vulnerable, and just pouring his heart out with all that creepiness around him. Like, give him an Oscar today. At least put him in the conversation with it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I was talking about it with talking to someone at my job about it. And I think the thing that the highest praise I can give it is, I think what you said is that it's open-ended, and that ending you can interpret in like 15 different ways.
Yeah.
And, we really sat there for like 10 minutes kind of to dissect, like, is that what that means? Or is that really what happened? And that's, I'm sure whether A24 month or spooky season, I'm sure we'll do an episode about it, because it's like one of the biggest surprises of the year. So
that's what, to me, that's what a good movie should do, is, leave it to an open conversation.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go. I mean, it's definitely worth the theatrical experience. Just kind of just sitting there watching, just going through the rooms, that's worth the price of admission, to be honest. And then I checked out 2 Netflix movies: Apex, the Charlize Theron, Taron Egerton survival film, is fine. And then Remarkably Bright Creatures with Sally Field. It's about her, like, she's like a janitor at like an aquarium, and she makes friends with like an octopus that's voiced by Alfred Molina.
Oh, nice.
Sally Field, like, she still got it. I mean, let's be honest. That's a very good performance.
Is that on Netflix?
Yeah.
Was that in theaters, or is that just a Netflix original?
It was just a Netflix original, and Lewis Pullman from Top Gun Maverick and Thunderbolts, he's in it as well.
Nice. I need to see it then.
It's an hour and 50 minutes. It has a good, I don't want to give it away or anything, but it does have a good
meaning
story to it.
Nice.
So yeah, Remarkably Bright Creatures, Backrooms, Masters of the Universe, definitely Pressure. Go check that out while it's still in theaters. I'll just say that, like, most of the time during the summer season, I'm the one that's seen everything, but Johnny's been keeping up with me head to head of seeing everything. So
my daughter wants to see the last something about the circus.
The what?
The something last of the circus.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't even know what that is, to be honest.
Yeah. She showed me the trailer. It looks really interesting, but my A-list reservation thing doesn't cover it. So I'm like,
it's a special event. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
are you going to go see Stop That Train after you see Disclosure Day?
This is the top 5.
Okay.
Zach asked me if I'm going to go see that movie. No, I'm not going to go see that movie. I wanted to walk out of He-Man because I saw that trailer.
Yeah, but you get to see it for free with your AMC stubs.
This is how dedicated I am to this Clint Eastwood top 5. I have True Crime, directed and starring Clint Eastwood. Have you seen that movie?
No, I actually heard pretty decent things about it, though.
Today we are talking our top 5 directorial Clint Eastwood movies. These are movies that he starred in, directed in, or maybe he didn't star in. But that's what we're talking about today. We are talking our top 5 Clint Eastwood directed movies. Zach, last week he also story broke that he is officially retired as of last week.
Yep.
So,
Which is, again, we don't plan this. We always get news right before we do an episode. His son, who is actually the composer for Gran Torino, officially came out and said that his dad had retired from acting on his 96th birthday. So
nice.
happy birthday, Clint.
I am going back, or you want to go back and forth or rapid fire?
We can go back and forth.
Number 5 for me is going to be $1 Million Baby. I sat and watched that for the first time this week in a long, long time. I forgot how emotionally driven this movie was. And all these movies to me are 5s. So if we're going star rating, it's just, yeah. But yeah, $1 Million Baby is number 5 for me.
Okay, so I got 2 honorable mentions. $1 Million Baby is one of my honorable mentions because I haven't seen that movie in years. I was wanting to rewatch it, but I just ran out of time. And J. Edgar, the Leonardo DiCaprio J. Edgar Hoover movie. My number 5 is his, I guess, last official directorial film, Juror Number 2, with Nicholas Hoult, Toni Collette. That is a very underrated courtroom drama. I mean, it has a lot of twists and turns to it, and it's kind of a did he or did he not? I thought Nicholas Hoult really probably deserved more praise for his performance than he really got. And it's a very, very well directed film from Mr. CLINT.
Nice. So. Number 4 for me is going to be Sully, the live action, kind of like a biopic of the real event. Landing the plane in the Hudson. I did notice one thing about Clint Eastwood is he does a lot of movies based off of novels, which isn't a bad thing, but I enjoyed Sully a lot. I put it in, watched it, and I look up and it's like over already. I'm like, man, that movie was in and out. It leaves you guessing. I've seen like 3 or 4 times. I've even seen it in the theater, and you're still just like mind blown that they're trying to make this man look negative in any kind of way when he saved all those lives. But Tom Hanks has an outstanding performance. So does Aaron Eckhart. Aaron Eckhart is like the one who doesn't get talked about, but he's really good in this movie. So yeah, that's my number 4 is Sully.
Nice. My number 4 is The Mule with him and Bradley Cooper as the DEA agent, where he plays a mule for the drug cartels. That's a very, like, you talk about emotional. That's a very like powerful action movie in a weird way. And it was also one of Toby Keith's last recorded songs with the "Don't Let the Old Man In." That really, I think it really drives home the point of the film, but also puts like a kind of a damper on it in the way that it's just like the way that song is almost like it's about a man who, like, this is his last survival technique to live. And so it's very, very well done. And again, another one that I didn't think get enough praise when it came out.
Number 3 for me is going to be a movie that I could probably watch. One of the few movies that I could watch back to back, and it's Bridges of Madison County. Clint Eastwood, Meryl Streep, just at the top of both of their games. Some of the subject matter may not be, good for a lot of people because it is about a woman who cheats on her family and her husband. This photographer comes across in her life for 4 days, and for 4 days she is just completely head over heels for him as he is her. And it's gripping, man. It's just stuff that happens in real life and stuff that happens every day and day to day. And I really enjoy the way the movie opens and the way it closes, because her 2 kids find out during, like, she dies. So then they go through like a lot of her stuff, and this is how they find out about the affair and stuff, is in her like journal and stuff. So it's an old movie. It's like from 95 or something like that. So I highly recommend it. I think both were nominated for Best Actor and Actress respectively. So it's always one of my favorite Eastwood movies. And that's The Bridges of Madison County, number 3.
Nice. I'm just looking on here. I didn't know that the mule was based off real events about the real Sinaloa cartel's 90-year-old drug mule Leo Sharp, who passed away in 87 in 2016. Wow.
No, in Clint Eastwood, it was probably a novel before too.
Wow. No. Well, kind of based off the 2014 New York Times article. So yeah, something like that. Number 3 is the one that I saw in the theater, and I think it's really been forgotten over time, is Changeling with Angelina Jolie and John Malkovich. Dude, Angelina Jolie's performance is so haunting in that. It's basically about a mother. It's based off true events. Her son was kidnapped, and the police department basically, quote unquote, tried to give her a replacement. And I mean, the true story is that they don't even know what happened to her son. It's a very hauntingly film about a kidnapping, and her and John Malkovich really 2 powerhouse performances in that.
I have that behind me, and I wanted to watch it before tonight's episode, but I just did not get the time.
Yeah, if you get it, I mean, if you're still in the Eastwood mood before you jump over to Spielberg, I highly recommend it, and give us your thoughts next week.
Deal. Number 2 for me, it's one of the greatest westerns of all time. Fight me if you want to, but it's Unforgiven.
How dare you? No.
I am captivated. I'm having like a real life stroke as this episode is going on. I am just fascinated by this movie, the story. I did kind of have a letdown watching it this time around. I think it's a movie that I'm going to have to eventually upgrade on 4K, because I've noticed a lot of the older movies, the sound is not booming. And I'm like, oh, this is a Western, so I kind of had to like turn it all the way up to kind of like hear. The picture to me was still fantastic, but yeah, you can definitely tell on some of the older Blu-rays the sound is not what it should be. But I think Unforgiven, I don't know, I can't believe honestly if we've talked about it or not. But you have a cast like Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman is in it. I'm just fascinated by that movie. I have the old school digibook version of Unforgiven. You remember when they made digibooks?
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic movie, man, all from top to bottom. So number 2 for me is going to be Unforgiven.
Nice. My number 2, I know if Ed was here, this would be his number 1. Number 2 is American Sniper with Bradley Cooper. We worked at the theater at the Warren when that came out. That movie stayed packed every weekend.
Yeah, before you get into it, I put that movie on my Letterboxd. I gave it a 3 out of 5, and he commented on it. He was like, "That's a 5 out of 5."
Yeah, I tell you, if he was here, that'd be his number 1. Very emotional performance by Bradley Cooper playing Chris Kyle. And like I said, we worked at the theater. That movie stayed packed for weeks on end. All the way up until I think 50 Shades of Grey when that came out. And it's a very powerful war movie. I don't know if you would say it's like one of the best war movies ever made, but it's a very well done. I think it does a very good job of the PTSD of war veterans and how that affects their family. It did a very good job of depicting that.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why it wasn't on my list, is because, like, if I'm going to go for a Eastwood movie, just because of the subject matter of one of the troops getting struck down and murdered by his own, like, it's kind of deep. I don't know if I'd want to see that every time I want to watch a Clint Eastwood movie.
No, yeah. It ends on a very
depressing level.
Yeah.
That was one of the ones I watched this week. My number 1, and if it wasn't for you saying that we're going to watch directed movies only by Clint Eastwood, I don't think I would have watched it this week. But I watched it twice in 7 days, and it's Mystic River.
Yeah.
It's the first time I'd ever seen this movie. Sean Penn I go back to the one battle after another episode, and I take back every bad thing I said about Sean Penn in that movie, about how I did not like his character, because the way he portrays his character looking back now at Mystic River, this movie goated Sean Penn. And I mean,
yeah, he won the best actor that year, him and Tim Robbins. So
yeah, Mystic River. I don't know. A lot of people say maybe Fast Times at Ridgemont High or something he'd done after that, like I Am Sam. But no, like Mystic River, it completely platinum plated, goated Sean Penn. Like I have never seen a performance in that aspect where the moment he breaks down, it completely ruined my day and and brought a tear to my eye because of the way he portrayed that scene, that action in that by that character. And I'm like, it makes me want to watch it again. So I am just dude, I am stunned by that movie. I'm still kind of like over the heels about it, finding a way. It does, when it gives the big reveal away, it does one of those things where it goes back and forth between two scenes and you don't know which one is coming first and you don't know which one is true or not true. So both scenes are going back and forth playing with you. And I think it was a novel based on Stephen King. I'm not sure. I might be wrong.
No, the novel was by Dennis Lehane, who did Gone Baby Gone and Shutter Island.
Okay.
So
but yeah, it was a fantastic movie. Morgan Freeman, Lawrence Fishburne, Kevin Bacon were phenomenal, and then Tim Robbins and Sean Penn just outstanding, and the score was very very well received too. I appreciated the score a lot. So
just as
if you want me to go back and check Changeling, I would recommend you go check out Mystic River.
There you go. I'm reading on here. Michael Keaton was originally cast in the role of Kevin Bacon's role. Do you think that would have made it? You think that would have been a different movie?
Kevin Bacon was good, but I think Michael Keaton would have delivered a little bit more seriousness to it. Don't get me wrong, Kevin Bacon is good in this movie, but there was still some like I had issues trusting him as the character.
Yeah,
and I think it's just because it's Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, he doesn't have a great track record of trustworthy characters.
Yeah. What's your number one, Zach?
My number one is what we're talking about today, Gran Torino. It was my first, basically, introduction to Clint Eastwood, and we'll get into it now.
What? Your first introduction of Clint Eastwood? That is insane, but I'm glad that we're going to talk about it because I cannot wait to get into it. We are talking all about Gran Torino. With IMDb rating of 8.1, an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, 73% on the Metascore, and a 3.8 out of 5 on the Letterboxd. With a budget of $25 million at the box office, it grossed a little over $270 million with a December 9th, 2008 release date, starring Clint Eastwood, Bee Vang, Christopher Carley, Ahani Her, Brian Haley, directed by Clint Eastwood. After a Hmong teenager tries to steal his prized possession, a 1972 Gran Torino, a disgruntled, prejudiced Korean War veteran seeks to redeem both the boy and himself. Zach, where were you when you first saw this? You said this was your first introduction to Clint Eastwood. How was it then, and how was it now revisiting it for the episode?
The reason I think I have this film on my number one is it was my first. Maybe it wasn't my first introduction because I think I had seen $1 Million Baby before this, but it was my first theater experience seeing Clint Eastwood in the theater setting. I thought even then this was a very powerful movie and has a lot of great life lessons. And I mean, still to this day for this rewatch, I still feel that way. I probably have a little bit of nitpicks, just putting on the reviewer goggles. But I still think it's one of Clint Eastwood's obviously 5 best directed movies, but also I think it's also one of his 5 best performances.
Speaking of reviewer goggles, I have them on,
Yeah.
and I can't agree with you more. I think this movie, if I had to pick another one that could have been in that honorable mention, it would have been Gran Torino. I think this movie, for being an hour and 55 minutes, it completely scooted by. I had no issues with the runtime. And I remember when this movie came out, the way he went out in the movie at the end, a lot of people were like kind of disgruntled and really, really sad in real life about it, because other than a few Westerns, you had never seen Clint Eastwood really die at the end of a movie. He was like the big bad John Wayne of his era. And, you don't see Clint Eastwood go out at the end of a movie. Spoiler alert, I just spoiled it. If you guys haven't seen Gran Torino, go check it out. It's over 25 years old.
It's damn near. It's 18 years this year. So
go.
I mean, it's
over 15 years old. My bad.
So, but I wanted to bring that up, I guess, because you went down the rabbit hole of Clint Eastwood films. I guess, yeah. I mean, that is true. He was always the good guy. He always lived at the end, and so I guess this was kind of a big twist of protocol that's how the movie ended. This movie ends.
Now, I like how you said he was always the good guy. At the beginning of this movie, he's not the good. You don't like him. He's not the good guy. And that's another thing where if I'm putting those goggles on, I'm like, am I supposed to laugh at this scene? Am I supposed to heckle at what he's saying to these people? Because he is extremely racist. He is extremely prejudiced. He is the end all be all. He is your great grandpa's best friend that's in the barbershop that you're like, don't come around any of my friends because you're going to embarrass the crap out of me.
Well, that, and now that you brought that up, I mean, this movie is nowhere near to our standard of racial sensitivity today.
No. And he doesn't do it with just one race. He does it with every race that he comes across.
Yeah.
In the movie. But he does end up becoming that charming Clint Eastwood-like character that you do want to root for at the end of the movie. So, that being said, if anybody can do it, it's Clint Eastwood. Yeah. Because I don't think there's a lot of actors who would start off a movie like that, and then by the end of the movie, you're like, oh, yeah, I want him to be the good guy. I want him to win. Some guys might just be like, no, I want the Korean gang or the Haman gang to do away with him. He deserves everything he's getting.
Yeah.
So,
but I think they did a very good job of the writing of this character. Of like, he's a Korean War veteran. I think he was like a Ford factory worker who basically was retired. His neighborhood has been overrun by these Hmong immigrants and gang violence. And so it's basically, not only do you have a veteran who fought these people during the Korean War, but now he has to live amongst them on a daily basis. And so I think later in the movie, before the climax, he kind of has this kind of one-on-one with Tao. Is that Tao?
yeah, Tao.
And how he basically says, I basically killed a kid like your age when I was over there. And I think that it's haunted him to this very day. And I think it brings all that up when he sees, the old lady that spits tobacco better than he does on the porch.
There's a lot of scenes like that where you kind of just like, you drop your jaw and you're like, what did he say? Because throughout the whole movie, he calls him Toad.
Yeah.
And then when he has the first encounter with one of the gang-related Hmong guys, he's like, what, I can blow your head off and go back into the house like nothing happened because I used to stack boys stack them
boy,
just
yeah. Boy, I stack them high as a wall with boys like you, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't say exactly that, but we can't say that what he actually says on here.
Yeah, no, he is completely out of his range there. And you know what? It's crazy. He's like, he's 96 now.
Yeah.
I kind of thought he was like in his 90s then.
Yeah. What was your I'm gonna see how old he was when this movie came out. What was your thought? And the other thing I think that really sells it home is that his family sucks. I mean,
Yeah.
truthfully.
You know what? The way they are, that kind of sets the tone for how you are slowly um, becoming a fan, or how you want him to continue.
He was 78 when this came out. So he was
Yeah.
damn near 80 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. So 77, 77, 78, probably when they filmed it. So yeah, he was up there in age when this came out. So and I think it did fairly well in the box office. So it shows that,
Yeah.
you know,
$270 million.
yeah. So I mean, a man of his reputation still brought in money back in 2008.
You think they could make Gran Torino today the way he was just so vulgar and so racist and prejudiced in that movie? We say that. I mean, we say that every week almost with something that's like from 15 or 20 years ago. But I mean, like, I know on Netflix you're like, oh, that roast of Kevin Hart. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but it's pretty
vulgar.
racist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see some of it?
Yeah, I watched the whole. I didn't really watch. I just listened to it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
damn, I didn't think you were allowed to tell jokes like that.
Yeah. So I mean, we say, can that be made anymore? I think it could be, but I don't think you could. I think the biggest thing is there's not an actor who could really portray that, like how we said at the beginning of the episode, who would start out to hate him and then you would love him by the end of it.
You can make an argument that this came out in 2008, so 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 years later, Django came out, but I don't know if you can really make that comparison because it's Tarantino and it's almost like a comedic version of history. You know?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of comedy in this too, kind of. I'm going to be honest with you. I laughed more a little bit in this than I did Scary Movie 6.
Yeah, that scene that you're showing where he goes out there and tells them to come back and insult the barber, that's a very funny scene. Like it's dark humor, but it really works.
But it does have that kind of like machismo-esque come in and talk to him like a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think on this rewatch, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, I thought the actress who played the sister Sue, I think her acting was a lot better than the brother on this rewatch.
That's true, and I think this is the scene where I would start to agree with you, because this is where she gets like bullied and she steps up for herself because the white dude Trey that she's with does not step up for her and try to defend her. So this is the scene where she definitely stands toe to toe and can act with Clint Eastwood, because they have the scene. And if you guys are listening to us, Spotify, Anchor, Podbean, iHeartRadio, if you're listening to this, it's the scene where the three African American men are bullying her and the
Trey.
white dude. Yeah, Trey. I say her. I'm sorry.
Oh, you mean the Clint Eastwood's son that he basically cusses out in his own movie?
Yeah.
Scott Eastwood.
Was that him?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh, wow.
So.
Oh, look, and there's a Clint Eastwood with Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, basically.
No.
Do
you think I should have talked to you this about in the top 5, but do you like movies more where he directs and stars, or are you more of a fan of when he steps back and he just gives his entire attention to directing? I was kind of 50-50.
I think it depends on what it is. I think something like this, he balances it very well. But something like his later movies, like the 15-17 to Paris and Cry Macho, he should have just done one or the other, if that makes sense.
The 15-17 to Paris, I didn't know that he used the actual real life boys that were in that scenario to act as themselves in the movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to say right now, I know that was like recent watches, but that kind of destroyed the movie for me because they could not act whatsoever.
Yeah.
Look at this photo. The photo we're sharing now, if you're listening to us, is a Clint Eastwood right next to the American flag. That's America right there.
America, yeah. What do you think of the initiation scene where the Tao tries to steal the Gran Torino?
Man, I was kind of glued to that scene. That's the scene where I was just like kind of glued and cemented in, because I'd only seen this movie twice, once in theaters and once when it first came out on Blu-ray, and I bought the Blu-ray, and I've never seen it and touched it again. So I was kind of glued from the start, and honestly was kind of surprised at how he was just very sloppy. Obviously, he's not meant to steal. He's not like his cousin. He's not like the others. So I think it was a very good scene, and it's the scene that you really know that Clint Eastwood is not playing, and he's not like joking around with anybody.
Yeah. I think it's also I think in a weird way, I think Walt is impressed with what he's trying to do, but at the same time, it's just like, no, you come into my house and steal my car, I'm putting you down. You better be glad that you got away.
Yeah.
Do
you like? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what do you think about that? Where like he kind of tells off the gang, and he kind of becomes like a neighborhood hero to the Hmong people.
I'm not gonna say very cliche, but it was like very fun. It was very rewarding to the people, to their culture of, obviously, they moved into this neighborhood, and he's the only like white dude who didn't get the hint and didn't leave or didn't upgrade, or didn't downgrade, and he's still in his community, even though it's being not taken over, but different Americans are coming in, and living there, and so he's not really changing with the times. And I'm not gonna lie, people like that are old and set in their ways, and that will not change and do not change their vocabulary or their mindset, and they are that cranky old person that's just not going away. If you don't want to go away, that's fine, but you have to update, and you have to change everything, your vocabulary, everything. So in my mind, like, it was very, very difficult sometimes watching Clint Eastwood portray that character.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's definitely one that, like I said, I think you can make an argument that you understand the reasons why he is the way, or the reasons why he's set in his way. But at the same time, it's just like you said, it's just like, I think, especially after he stands up for Tao and his family of like shooing the gang away. It's basically, he does become like a protector to these people, and whether he wants to admit it or not, he did a good cause. And I think him trying to reconcile with that, of not only what he did in the Korean War, but also how he's treated this boy, is very it's definitely an evolution. And I thought that, I can't remember if there's a piece of dialogue in the movie, but I think he basically they build a father-son relationship to the point where he basically takes him under his wing, tells him how to do stuff, change tires, gets him a job in construction, and like really teaches him to, quote unquote, how to be a man, essentially, in some aspects, especially with like, another racist aspect of it was like, hey, if you don't ask out Yum Yum, then I'm going to. It's just like, okay. Could you at least learn the girl's actual pronunciation of the name?
But that's the perfect portrayal of, like I was said earlier, like, people do not, there's people like that
they're not going to change.
Yeah, they say that making fun of their names, and
she didn't have a problem with this, and she laughed at it, but it's just in today's setting, you would never get away with that.
Yeah. I do like the aspect, though, throughout the entire movie, of them taking care of him as he's taking care of her.
Yeah.
as he is also taking care of like the neighbors around him, because like you said earlier, he's teaching him to do manly duties, fix things, take care of people. He got him set up with his first job. How old do you think Tal was? How old is he supposed to be in that movie? Do you know? He's at least 18 getting a construction job.
I would say 16, 17, around that age. He's definitely still in high school at least.
Yeah. Well, see, I was kind of confused about that because I'm like, he's getting a job, he's working construction, he's got to be at least 18. I was thinking 18.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's still in the what's the word I'm looking for? Easily manipulated stage of life where like he could easily join this gang even though he doesn't really want to. He's basically his cousin Spider, who's kind of like the quote unquote main antagonist of it. He's basically disappointment to him and says like, no, join our gang, be tough, show off that old man. And it's just like, it doesn't, like you can tell that character, it would never work,
Yeah.
He would never fit into that life.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think of some other things that I can add to this conversation of Gran Torino, because I feel like it's just a conversation of us like spinning around and saying how good it is or how great it is. But it's also just one of those like, trying to find flaws for this movie were kind of hard. If you're asking me.
I mean, I think, like I said, my only nitpick about it was just some of the acting just didn't hold up, especially with Tao and some of the gang members. I thought the main actress, B. Vang, I think her name is, she went toe to toe with Clint Eastwood in some of those scenes. Like she could hold her own. And I thought that was on this rewatch. I thought was very impressive.
B. Vang is Tao. Ahani Her played Sue.
See, then that's why we pay you the big bucks.
Sue, though, I believe, like I said, yeah, I think she's probably the most lovable character that's in the entire movie.
Yeah.
I agree with you that she outdid her brother. And I also say the same thing. I think she outdid everybody around her besides Clint. I think she outdid the family members, the cousin, the gang. If I had to nitpick, I would probably say I would have recasted the Korean gang, or not Korean gang, but the gang.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do like how they did stick with like actual cultural actors to do this film.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing back in the day, and sometimes they still do it today, that they don't do that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we've become very inclusive of like, hey, if we're going to represent a certain type of people, we're going to try and do that to the fullest extent.
Yeah. The ending, did you kind of have an issue with the way everything ended when Sue came back in and she was like obviously beaten and raped, and
yeah,
the way Eastwood, or the way Clint Eastwood's character kind of went about things, he almost like set himself up to like, okay, I'm giving my dog away, I'm picking up my suit to be buried in,
yeah,
I'm doing away with myself, but it leads you to think he's going out guns ablazing, like if this was a Western movie. But he did not go out that way. What did you think about? What did you want the ending to be, and then what did you end up? What was your thoughts once you saw it?
I wanted the ending initially, like sitting in the theater, to be like he survives, everything's okay. He's just gonna live out the rest of his time. You remember that Tom Hanks movie, A Man Called Otto?
Yeah.
Where like he kind of becomes one with the family, and then he just lives out the rest of his life and like they're as a friendship. I thought that was how it was gonna end. But then like on the second rewatch, it's like, okay, he goes to get a haircut, he gets a new suit, he gives away his dog, which that to me was like the telling sign of like, oh, okay, so he's not coming back from this. But there's something very emotionally impactful about he would rather give his life up than Tal having blood on his hands that he cannot wash away. Because he says that when he tricks them and he locks them in the basement and says, like, you want to know what it is about killing someone? It's awful. It's something you can never, it's basically stained your soul and you can't get rid of it.
And he says that, yeah, you're right. He does say that tease it throughout the entire film. Where
Did you notice, like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to put a closing note on the conversation about where do you think Gran Torino just kind of lives up, because it is in the IMDb's top 250, which we're about to talk about. Is this just a blimp in the career of Clint Eastwood, or is this movie? Does this have to be talked about top tier Clint Eastwood films?
It's so hard to say because you went through the Dirty Harry films and some of his westerns. I think he's always going to be known as the western guy that kind of brought it back after the not John Ford,
John Wayne,
the John Wayne era. But I haven't really. I'm going to be honest. Other than Unforgiven, I haven't really seen a lot of his westerns, and so to me, like from Changeling, from his early 2000, from like I'll go with $1 Million Baby onwards. I've almost seen all of his movies except for Flags of Our Fathers, Letters from Iwo Jima.
That's another movie I wanted to watch, was Letters from Iwo Jima. I did watch Flags of Our Fathers. That was another great movie.
Trouble with the Curb, Jersey Boys, and Richard Jewell. I've heard Richard Jewell is really good.
You still haven't seen Richard Jewell?
No, that's almost
a good movie.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
So like out of that era of Clint Eastwood, I think Gran Torino is like number one in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I think this. I agree with you. I think this is a movie that is definitely hidden behind some of his biggest westerns or some of his other biggest movies. I don't know if this is streaming anywhere. Zach, how did you watch it? If maybe we can get the listeners to go watch it too. I think it's definitely a movie to check out.
It's not, unfortunately, it's not streaming anywhere. You can rent it for like $3.99 on Apple TV and all the places. I just got it from the library. I owned this movie at one point, but it had been such a long time since that I watched it that I just gave it away. And on the Blu-ray and DVD, there's only 2 special features about like car culture, like classic car culture, and really no like making documentary, which I was kind of surprised by.
I don't get rid of my stuffs, and these are movies that I still have to fix into my piles. So you cannot have a life like I do. Or you can get rid of it. So,
real quick before we move on to favorite scenes, Father, the pastor who's trying to get him to confess. I thought they had a good, like, I don't want to say relationship, but just kind of like this
good chemistry.
They had good chemistry of like, oh, you're a man of God, but you have no idea about like life and death. I thought that was a very like. In the bar scene where he's just like kind of giving him the full ante about everything. And then later on, after the shootout and the reveal of Sue being beaten up and raped, I'm like you, Walt. I want revenge on this, but you got to do it. You got to go about it in a certain way.
Yeah, which is true.
So
this movie is ranked 192 on IMDb's top 250. We just kind of talked about it in Clint Eastwood's culture of where does this movie fall along with his movies. What do you think? 192, does it deserve to be in the top 250? Do you like where it's at? Should it be higher? Should it be lower?
I think it should be higher. I think it should be in the top 100. Maybe
100?
Maybe in the 90s.
I'll agree with you, but I'm going to say it should be in the top 150. Just because I could think of maybe like 15 other Clint Eastwood movies, maybe, and I would like to see where they're at on the list. But I think it should be higher than 192. So,
yeah.
Favorite scene of Gran Torino?
obviously when Walt saves him from saves Sue from the gangbangers is a great scene. I think that's the scene that kind of is what this movie is known for, almost. The building of the relationship between Walt and Tao was good. And kind of just like his crankiness in a weird way, just kind of like that rigid, grouchy old man neighbor who's just like, man, why don't you just like even the old woman is like, why don't you just go die at some point? And just kind of him sitting with his dog on the porch. It's almost like a weird American dream of like, yeah, I own that classic car. I'm very proud of it. I'm gonna show it off. So,
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think the same thing. If I had to pick one favorite scene, it would be the scene where honestly he's getting ready for his death, the suit fitting, the confession. So I think that in itself is really, really good. That sequence of scenes. So star rating for Gran Torino. I'm going to go first. I'm knocking it out of the park. I'm going to give this movie a solid 4. Fantastic movie, great cinematography. It flies by. I'm laughing probably when I should not be laughing, but it's very emotional and sentimental value, drawing me towards the characters. Great character development, great direction by Eastwood. So a 4 overall.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. 4 out of 5 for me as well. Like I said, just a few nitpicks, but nothing to bring the movie down any more than that would ruin the rating. I think if you'd asked me what my grade was when I first saw it walking out of the theater, I would have given it a 5 because I was just like, that's something I'd never seen before. And like I said, the theater experience of seeing Clint Eastwood on the big screen, that helped it out a lot. So,
oh yeah. Well, Zach, we have 2.5 weeks left, 3 episodes remaining of June. Next week, we go back to the theater and we talk Disclosure Day. The week after that, week 3, we talk Toy Story 5, Keep It in the Theater. And then we finish the month off June 30th with Catch Me If You Can. Leo, Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg. What are you most excited about for the rest of the month?
I think we're going to have 3 great films we're going to talk about. I'm very, very excited about Disclosure Day next week. I hope it doesn't fail. I think it's sitting at like a 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, so pretty decent scores coming out. Toy Story 5, I'm going to keep an open mind to say, hey, Woody and the gang are back. Let's see what they can do. And then I can't wait to talk about Catch Me If You Can. I'm to do this for the last couple years, and I'm looking forward to it. What about you?
I'm honestly looking forward to next week. Catch Me If You Can is a great movie, so it's going to be always a good rewatch for that. I'm really looking forward to next week. And I want to get your mind, you said earlier you're not going to. I am going to watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind just to play with myself. I mean,
okay.
Just to kind of see if there's any compare, contrast, or maybe I'm not saying it is going to be a sequel, but I just want to know, this is his first alien-like film that he's doing since War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
But this is his really first one, Close Secrets, his own idea since Close Encounters of the Third Kind, because we all know War of the Worlds was a remake. Yeah. So I'm going to watch to compare and contrast.
I guess my question is, are you going to be disappointed if it's not a sequel to Close Encounters?
No. I'm a huge Emily Blunt fan. I like the dude that plays the counterpart.
Josh O'Connor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I believe Coleman Domingo is in this as well. And the dude has had a fantastic 2026.
Let's see if we can keep it going.
Yeah. So I'm excited for next week, Disclosure Day, on another new episode. Before we get out of here, Zach, top 5 Spielberg films or top 5 Emily Blunt movies? What are we doing?
Let's do Emily Blunt. We haven't talked, I've heard like she's the standout of this movie. So let's talk some Emily Blunt movies next week.
Disclosure Day and top 5 Emily Blunt movies next week on another new episode of the Cine-Men Movie Podcast.